Welcome to What the Puck? I'm Puck. With me today is Ethan. Ethan, can you take a few minutes to introduce yourself on your own channel?
Really? That seems obnoxious. I am Ethan Micheal, your friendly neighborhood atheist, and I am about to get interviewed by Puck. I love his opening. It's so dry. This is Puck.
It's all about the dryness. It's like you remember when you watched Sesame Street when you were younger, whenever Kermit the Frog came on with his news reports, you always say, "Hi ho, Kermit the Frog here. This is my intro. Welcome to What the Puck."
No, I like it. It's just funny because we're polar opposites. I'm that, and you're.
I mean, just look at the t-shirts, okay? Your t-shirt is like unicorn barf, and mine is, I always come on. And have you ever seen me wearing anything other than a plain colored t-shirt?
No, actually. No, it's always plain, it's always bland, and I'm always the loud, obnoxious one, and you're the reserved one.
Like I can see the punctuation when you talk.
And that's why I use punctuation so much, is because of that very thing. Like I am an excitable person.
That's why we like you, Ethan. And you know what? Weren't we just talking about Best Name Ever here?
Actually, Best Name Ever, I just made you a moderator, so thank you for the tip.
Yet another wrench to add to your toolbox. Okay, well, anyway, the whole reason we're here today is because you talked to a lot of people in the past couple of months in your atheist activism. You're a wonderful community builder. You're bringing people together who probably would not have found a way to get together had it not been for you, right? You have another channel where you talk mostly about social issues, where you've brought a lot of people in to talk about and have roundtables about very difficult stuff. You have the Atheist Roundtable. I believe you have another one coming up soon. Is that right?
Yeah,
Sunday, you said?
This Sunday, the second ever global atheist roundtable, where we bring in atheists from different countries all to communicate. Although, actually, this one might have one less person from another country. However, in the same week, we're doing the first ever Women of Atheism roundtable, which is awesome. I'm not going to say all their names right now. I'll wait till I have the official flyer, which I need to get that made.
But see, this is like one of your big strengths is you bring a whole bunch of people in and talk. And I have to imagine that in the past 2 months of doing this, with such a variety in your community, you've learned a lot.
I have learned a tremendous amount.
And I think we're as much as you help other people learn, I don't think that you touch on enough in your channel how much you've grown and how much you've changed and how much you've developed just in these past 2 months of being a community builder. So I wanted to take my segment, and instead of finding some other person out there to teach you, so let's see what you've learned from the people that you have met along the way.
Do we get pictures of them?
I wish I had thought that far ahead. But I think like the easiest way to do this, I think, is the conversation, at least the one that I had that is freshest on my mind. And that is the one last week from Exmolex.
Oh, yes.
Okay. The former Mormon. And Mormon. You got introduced to some religious practices and beliefs that I'm guessing you'd never even heard of anything close to.
Like before. The fact that you have to sign. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll let you finish.
No. This is where I want you to get excited and start talking about what you learned from that conversation.
Well, one, I didn't know that Mormons had to go get a signature and get signed out. Was it legally or a notary? They had to get a notary to be able to actually escape the Church of Latter-day Saints. Like that's kind of crazy that you have to go that far. Like to me, you should just be able to walk up and say, "I'm done," or not even have to walk up. Just stop going.
And for a lot of people, that's all it is. Like especially like I know I grew up in a Catholic congregation. If you stop showing up, maybe a couple of people will notice, but the congregation is so huge that any one family that doesn't show up anymore probably doesn't get noticed.
Right.
And especially like the churches I've been to, we're not very strong in building communities outside of the church, right? But there are a lot of people who did grow up in such communities where it is so ingrained in their not just Sunday afternoons, but every moment of their lives. And I'm glad that you picked up on that. What did you think about some of the more unique beliefs and practices of Mormonism?
Real quick, I do want to give a shout out to KCA Randy. He tunes in a lot, and I really do appreciate it very much, my friend.
I feel bad that I don't know what KCA stands for, but
yeah, I'm kind of curious. What does KCA stand for? I will say the thing that surprised me the most was the fact that they had specific undergarments they have to wear to protect themselves, or I forgot what she said specifically, but why do they have to wear special underwear? Like, that's crazy. I don't want to say it's crazy. It's wild.
Yeah. And so this is like your first real exposure to different Christian groups other than your own. And what tradition was the church that you were last in again?
Me personally,
Yeah.
I was a Christian. I would go to Parkview Christian Church in Orland Park. Pretty good church, very nice, very accepting.
So even Catholicism was new to you, wasn't it? Like a lot of
no, actually, I went to a Catholic school from 6th through 8th grade.
Oh, that's right. So transubstantiation. That's Catholic 101. Hello, Casa Mufasa.
I was just going to say the same thing. Hello, thanks for joining us.
Kansas City Atheist. Very nice.
Ooh.
Okay. This is like the Midwest Gathering and Sweden. The Midwest and Sweden Gathering channel. This is awesome. It's like the ACA North Division. That's cool.
The ACA North Division.
The ACA North. No, but like Mormonism was one of the traditions that I was involved in, which is why I wanted to get someone who was in there, because I had a lot of familiarity with it. So it's nice to talk. If I could get a former Catholic in, that would be awesome to talk to also.
I'll find you one, Park.
But we did talk to, notice the smooth segue because I was prepared. We did talk to a current practicing Catholic, dry atheist, aka Caleb. So this was the first really deep apologetics conversation that you had here. What was your big takeaway from hearing people talking about moral ontology? Giggles. No, that's fair.
Can I be completely honest with you?
Hit me with your best shot.
Learning is very hard for me when it's not engaging.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can put on some of the most dry stuff, and as long as it's intellectually engaging, you're good. Me, I need the excitement. I need, a little bit more to it. So I hate to say, I actually don't even know what it is.
Okay, and that's fine. Like, and this is why, let me just tell you, like, I learned this literally an hour ago. Like, I was watching another atheist community builder, and I was watching her video, and it really hit home that there is a need for people to study counter apologetics and apologetics and learn how to engage with people on that level. But that is just one of many needs in the atheist community, right? You're supplying your niche, and it's a wonderful thing that you're doing. So but there is a need for a lot of different voices and a lot of different people talking on different levels.
I just want to I want to bring people together. I don't care if Christian, Catholic, like my platform can be for everybody. I want people to be able to share their voice. But I think my motives are quite clear. Of course, I would hope that one day I would, convince people to move over to our side, or not convince, but give them the tools they need to convince themselves. Or maybe show them that all of us atheists are not evil. We're not all angry.
No, I'm not evil or angry at all. Just a lot of theistic thinking makes absolutely no sense to me. Now, that being said, I'm not beyond learning about, like, if you're talking to me about some belief, even if it's a spiritual or religious belief, I'm not immediately going to put it in the I don't believe it box. I'm going to put it in the tell me more about it box. There's a lot that I don't know, and there's a lot that I don't get.
Right.
And if somebody comes up with something that I've never heard before, I want to know as much about this as possible, which is why I like bringing on the wide variety of people that I want to bring on as possible. And you're doing a fantastic job of that also.
Well, Park, I got to go back to you for a second, sir, because you have done a lot. You have been instrumental. For those watching, Puck has literally been instrumental in what's happening right now. So Puck, got to give you a high five there, brother, because seriously, without you, it wouldn't be moving along this much. I wouldn't have met so many of these amazing people. I wouldn't be getting invited onto these other shows. So Puck, credit goes to you too, my friend.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But now we're going to get to the difficult ones.
Oh, no.
We have to get to this. But before that, we're going to skip the one person and go back to the very first conversation that I had with someone other than you, and that would be Shanna. Now, this was actually the second time Shanna had come onto your show, right? Because you and, oh goodness, I'm spacing on who it was. But one of your very first videos on this channel was you and someone talking to Shanna.
Larry the Christian.
Larry the Christian. Okay, now the second conversation.
Whoa, you forgot Larry the Christian?
I forgot who you had that conversation with. I thought it might have been Joel. I forget. So sorry, Larry. Big hearts. Okay, but that was actually the second time we talked with her, and that was roughly about the same topic too, wasn't it? So in two different conversations with Shanna, what did you learn most from her?
That atheists and Buddhists, atheists and Hindus have a lot more in common, at least from what I've learned from her. If she was an accurate representation, I don't know. But just from what I've learned to her, I shouldn't say atheists, sorry. I should say secular humanists have a lot in common with Hinduism, only solely based on my conversations with her. I could be completely way off, though.
I think it was like that was my first big conversation with someone who had such a vastly different definition of God. And I remember she had posted something else on Facebook, and it was like a week after, right? A week after everything we talked. And I don't even remember what she posted. I don't remember. I don't think it was even related to this conversation, but it just hit me. It's like, oh, that's why you call that God. Do you remember this?
No, I don't.
Okay. The thing that I had was like if I ask you what time it was and you say it's 8:40, and I say, how did you know what time it was? And you said, I looked at a clock, right? Now, my idea of, when you say clock, I get an idea in my head of what a clock is, right? You might be looking at something that is completely different, but it is in fact a clock.
Right.
Right. And so the reason you use clock to describe that, even though it's something completely different, is because that's what you use to reference what time it is. Okay. You might be thinking about like a clock on the wall with hands, or it might be looking at the bottom of your computer screen at the readout there. Whatever you're using, that's a clock. And that's why she uses the word God to describe what she was describing instead of coming up with a different word for it, because it fulfills the same function as God does to many people. Just like a different things can fulfill a function for you as to what a clock is.
Right.
Does that make any sense? And this is like one of the big things that sold me on your channel and wanted me to be part of it also, because you're exploring a large number of beliefs. It's not just atheist versus Christian.
No,
it's let's bring in as many as we can.
I'm telling you this. I'm gonna find a way to get a Scientologist for a friendly conversation. And look at Puck. He's like frozen. Like, no, you're not. You're not.
No, I'm not. I'm not frozen. I just really like orange soda. See, this is my big growth on your channel too, right? Because when I first got on your channel, I would be drinking this directly out of a 2-liter, but apparently that's seen as kind of irreverent. Yeah. And my name is irreverent enough already, so we don't want to, overly push the irreverent bit. And we got some questions in chat. Is the pastor? I'm not sure what that means. KCA Randy. Is the pastor? Chris is a good guy. Is the pastor? Help me understand what that is. I don't even know if that's directed at us. I just see a question mark and immediately start wondering.
And then, by the way, Casa Mufasa, in the middle of this stream, Kristen messaged me and she said, you are a tremendous moderator, and asked if I would make you a moderator. So hope it's okay. I know we don't know each other, but I know Kristen. She is stupendous. So I trust her judgment.
Ethan just hands out wrenches like popcorn. Okay, look, I am a moderator on this channel
because it's you. You're like in on this, so obviously.
Oh, okay. Now the baptism for a dead thing. Now, just to go back to that very quickly, and then we'll go right back to Ethan. I don't know exactly if they choose who they're going to be baptized for, but I think the idea is to just give as many people the opportunity as possible. And when they say, and it stands to reason that they would probably try to pick the people who are most in need of redemption. So they're not saying they hate Jews, they're saying give them an opportunity to receive the gospel and learn from their mistakes. I think. I don't know. I can ask her, though, now that we have better clarification on that question. I do have a line of communication with her, so we'll find that out for you, and we'll find a way to get back in touch.
Sweet.
Chris is a great guy. What a guy. I met him for the first time just about like a week ago. Talk about community building, you know.
And you went on his show today.
He's doing this, like, goodness, because we're going to touch on this about you anyways, so we might as well do it now, is the sheer ridiculous amount of content that you put out. And we've talked about this privately before. So, and you mentioned it on your Facebook, so I don't feel bad bringing it up because it's something that's on your mind also.
Yeah.
So a part of me is wondering, is part of this just like quarantine cabin fever?
No. Okay. So to be clear, by the time quarantine is done, I would like to have this more focused. That's why I stopped. Like originally, I had a whole bunch of other crap on my atheist channel. And then after talks with Puck, without him even telling me, I'm like, yeah, I need to make this a little bit more atheist focused, not so like ADHD. So I went down and I made a bunch of videos private. And then going forward, my schedule is crazy for the next 2 weeks. But after that, I'm going to be minimizing how often, so Puck and I can help develop better, more quality content, because quantity is not always the best thing.
And like that's one of the things like that just blows me away about you, is because you actually have the energy to do that. You're right. I was on a show earlier today, and I am still like a little psychologically drained from that. Like I haven't recovered enough from that. Yeah, really.
Dude, to sound like Captain America, I could do this all day. Like seriously, like I am at work and I'm just thinking, I just want to be talking to people right now. Like this is what I want to do. And here's the best part. I'll be the first one to admit that I'm kind of an idiot. I don't know things like you know them. I mean, I can't even explain how you know that you know the question you've been posing to me for 3 months. But anyone joining my channel now is going to get to go on this journey with me, to go from complete, utter idiot to hopefully more knowledgeable person. And I'm like a curious child. I am excited. I want to dive into every religion and learn as much as possible. But as I've said before, you have nothing to worry about with me, Puck. It will take an astronomical amount of evidence to convince me, and a leap of faith will not work. So don't let my hopeful or curious nature make you think, oh no, one day he's going to become one of them.
Totally not. Oh, can I answer this for S.J. Thomason? I think I know the answer to this. Hi, SJ. I believe this is my first time like actually talking with you. I've been a fan of your work for a very long time, and you're going to want to stick around for about another half an hour, because I have something that I believe you will appreciate, to show you that I really am a fan of your work. And my answer to your question, by the way, and Ethan, I don't know if you even know the answer to this. My answer is ENFP.
I don't know what that means.
Okay, that's fine. If you don't know, you don't know. But my guess would have been ENFP.
Well, I'm excited because S.J. Thomason is coming to your friendly neighborhood atheist community. So I always, and that's the best part, is I get, that's another person I get to learn from. Like I've watched a couple of her debate videos, and I'm like, wow, this is, there is so much I can learn from S.J. And I am excited. Like this is just, to me, it's another learning opportunity.
Ethan, do you know who G-Man is?
I've heard, yes, I know who G-Man is.
Okay, I was just curious. Anyway, so we were talking about people we've had on the show before, but we also had to cancel What the Puck 1 week.
Yes, that's correct.
And there was a bit of a kerfuffle there, and I was wondering what you learned from that. As much as you're willing to talk about, I don't know if you want to get into that or what, but it seems that we've had conversations on here that were not as kind as we should have, as they should have been. We've made mistakes, and that's part of being content creators. So I
made the mistake. Okay. There was the one conversation that I don't want to touch on it too much, but let's just say two of the people clashed. Didn't go well, and I should have interjected much sooner, because This channel is about making people feel welcome. It's not just for atheists. I want Christians to feel welcome. I want Catholics to feel welcome. I want Mormons to feel welcome. I want everybody to be able to come here and learn from each other and engage in healthy, honest dialogue. So, and that's one thing I need to focus with all my guests, is make sure they're aware that this is not the environment for anger or lashing out. We're here to learn from each other. And that's where I want this to stick. And Puck, you and I don't have a lot in common, but we have that in common, where we just want to have healthy dialogue with other people and we want to learn.
SJ, you know what? We were just talking about, like, we had Caleb, Dry Apologist, on here, and we talked to a former Mormon on here also. And boy, if I could talk to a Catholic, a current practicing Catholic, about the Catholic branch of apologetics and Catholic practices, that'd be really awesome to have here on the show.
I actually didn't even know there was Catholic apologetics.
Well, Catholics have a branch of beliefs that are somewhat different from mainstream Christianity. And of course, those apologetics is basically just defense of your beliefs. Right. So everything has apologetics, right? Maybe it's just not so formally called. And when you think of apologetics, you often think of religious apologetics, but there's apologetics for everything. You've ever heard of Trump apologists?
No.
Oh, well, there is actually such thing as Trump apologists. So
really?
Well, yeah. I mean, I can't speak too much for that community, but they do exist. But there are Obama apologists too. So, you know, it goes all around. It goes all around. You know what? I'm glad that we got a kerfuffle in this channel early.
You know? I am too, because a kerfluffle later on would not be as good. But I mean, at the end of the day, you have to make the decision you can live with. And I mean, you helped influence me with that decision, whether you meant to or not. You played an instrumental part in that. So thank you, Puck. You've played an instrumental part in this channel. So thank you. Yes,
and I do that without playing any instruments at all. So going back to like some of your or earlier content, even before What the Puck even started, right? You did a lot of debates. And I don't even want to call them debates, because it's not like I mean this in the sense that, like, debate is a formal definition, right? Where two parties have an opening statement, there's rebuttal periods, there's cross-examination, there's ending remarks. Like, there's a structure to most debates. What you had were discussions, and that's fine. But like, compare what those were to the last one you had with Joel and Kenneth, right? There was a lot of good structure to that, right?
Yes.
Okay, the ones that you had were not quite as structured. That's fine. Not everything has to be a debate.
I didn't know what I was getting into.
But fine, but let's start. Let's take a moment to reflect on what you've learned from, let's see, 3 rounds with Joel. Right.
Joel. Oh, sorry, I'll let you finish.
No, you had 3 rounds with Joel, and I don't know how much you've had with other people, but those are the ones that stand out to me as the debates that you've had.
Well, yeah. So Joel set a case from the Think Institute. He's a Christian apologist, and man, did he stop me in my tracks. Like, I was a little bit more confident. Like, all right, I got this. I've seen the arguments. I can handle it. And he just shut me down so quickly. And I really learned very, very fast. Like, I learned very fast that I had a lot to learn. So I am thankful for my first debate with Joel, because it did teach me a lot about apologetics. I'm even more grateful for my second debate with Joel, because you'll see, even though I guess I don't want to say who won that one. He definitely won the first one, like straight up TKO on me. But the second one, I think I at least held my own. I wasn't able to, unfortunately, push back as much, but I learned at least certain pitfalls to avoid.
Ethan, who turned you into a bar of soap, let's be frank.
Yeah, it was embarrassing. I'm sure there's many atheists out there that watch that and are like, this guy better not debate again.
And this is something that weighs on my mind too. It's like, what I don't know that, like the idea of debate in theory is to present 2 different opinions and to, you know, put them in a public arena where they can be evaluated by others to say, okay, which one is truly the best one that we should go with. And unfortunately, it doesn't always work that way, and debate turns into more grandstanding than anything else. Like the side A knows what side A is going to talk about. Side A knows what side B is already going to talk about, right? They know each other so well that they know what each other's opening arguments are going to be.
Exactly.
Nothing new really gets brought to the table, and most importantly, even within the audience, people who were side A in the beginning are probably going to stay side A anyway. There's a very small margin of people in the middle. And I think, like, if you talk to anybody who does a lot of debates, they're going to say it's those people, like the ones who are kind of on the fence and the ones who are questioning already anyway. That's who we do debates for. But go ahead, go.
I see. I think conversation is where the magic happens. Because when's the last time someone got in someone else's face and just said, "Nope, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong because of this, and this," and all of a sudden that person was like, "You're right. I was wrong about everything. You've changed your mind." Like I don't think I don't know. I don't think that's the way to reach people. Like I would rather, extend my hand, an open invitation, and just walk with them, guide them to the ways I think are better and let them show me the ways they think are better. Because if we work together, we're going to accomplish a lot more. Like we could sit here, atheists could bash Christians all day. Christians could bash atheists. Mormons could bash, but at the end of the day, what does that actually accomplish? Where is that getting us except pulling us apart? So I'd rather find common ground and work together with people.
You want to answer SJ's question? She's putting us immediately on the spot. I have my answer. You have yours. So if you could give yours first.
In a heartbeat, I would genuinely be honored. Yes, absolutely.
I, on the other hand, must politely decline, and I will give my reasons for this. SJ, you are incredibly well-researched and well-learned. I have nothing that I feel like I can add to that particular arena. If we were to just come on and have a friendly conversation about a number of topics, it would be an honor. But I don't think that I am at the same intellectual plane as you are to be able to discuss things at that level. So if we were to talk about historicity, then I have nothing to offer there, because I'm not well studied in that, and out of respect for you and the content that you put out there, I don't want to go in there as a complete amateur, and you'd have to talk to me from the very beginning and catch me up on stuff that would be like call it apologetics 101 and historicity 101, right? Out of respect for your channel and your content, I don't know if you want to bring your viewers to having to school someone.
Well, thanks. You make if you don't feel you're knowledgeable enough, how do you think that makes me feel? So
like preparation and knowledge has never mattered to you. It matters to me. I like going into things at least having some sense of I can at least engage in the basics of the conversation. SJ, I don't believe that I have anything that would even be remotely challenging for you.
I will go anywhere. I will talk to anyone. It's a conversation.
Oh, I will talk to anybody. Absolutely, SJ. I would love to just sit down and talk to you. My drink is Sunkist, so I would love to share a Sunkist with you and sit and talk and get to know. But as far as being challenged on the things that you're most knowledgeable about and most known for being knowledgeable about, I have nothing to offer in that sphere. And to show how much respect I have for you, SJ, I actually have a surprise for Ethan. It's on this screen right now. But if you could, in chat, just very briefly summarize as much as you can about what the minimal facts argument is. I have a representation of it that Ethan doesn't know yet, and I was actually going to talk to him about it. But if you could spell some of that out in chat so that we can go over that, that'd be fantastic. Don't make just let's just chat. I can do that. I can come in and just chat. Let's talk and have a good time. But I don't feel like I can match up with you intellectually as far as having a deeper conversation into historicity of the early church.
Well, I like that, Buck. I don't know. I'm a little speechless. I'm honored, but I'm speechless. So thank you, SJ. Okay, so you had a surprise for?
I do have a surprise. Now, apologetics aren't everything. there's so much more to building an atheist community and to building the community that you want that don't have anything to do with apologetics. The reason I like counter apologetics is because a lot of the people that I still talk to are the ones who are just newly leaving the church or are still in some religious structure and haven't tried to. I see what you did there, Larry. He's stealing my line. He's stealing my line. That's my line. You know what, Larry? Mine comes with a wrench now. Okay.
Oh
In
yeah,
fact,
that's true.
I have to.
Now a moderator on my channel.
I have to just to one up Larry. Hang on, just a second. Just because I can. Hang on. There you go. Check that out. That's a present with a wrench. Just kidding. Okay. But the reason I like counter apologetics is because a lot of people I talk to are still in these structures and still in communities where they hear a lot of common arguments for God, right? And counter apologetics at least gives them a little bit of somebody who's speaking for the other side and not just leaving them in an insular environment where they don't have access to information. So that's why it's not everything and it's not for everyone. But Ethan, I would like to present some common apologetics to you and see how you
Oh no,
deal
dude,
with
you're
these
putting me on
arguments.
the spot.
Yes, we could. Larry, I think I will make you proud with one of these that I've chosen. And SJ, I hope to do you proud also. But in case I don't, and in case I do not properly represent the Habermas minimal facts argument, if you could present a brief summary of the minimal facts in chat so we can go over that next. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here because I've thoughtfully written these out for you. And hopefully they're large enough so chat can read them also. I have zero production or tech skills whatsoever, so this is on Notepad.
The argument from
The argument from irreducible complexity. Yes. Now I did not find a formalized version of this, but hopefully you can. This is a fair enough representation that we can at least talk about it. Okay. Organisms are observed with physiology that would not function in a reduced state, for example, bacterial flagellum. Due to irreducible complexity, these structures must have been intentionally designed in its final form, and this designer must be God.
Are you trying to embarrass me? Okay, hang on. Organisms are observed with physiology that would not function in a reduced state. Due to the irreducible complexity, these structures must have been intentionally designed in its final form, and this designer must be God. Okay, so am I addressing this statement or what am I doing?
Yeah, what do you see wrong with this picture?
Okay, so
if anything,
yeah, structures
there are people. I want this clear. There are people who believe in intelligent design who are not Christian or religious in any way, but they do believe in some sort of intelligent design. So this is not necessarily a Christian argument. So you can be atheist and believe in intelligent design.
So,
in other words,
I guess my issue with this would first be these structures must have been intentionally designed. Why must they have been intentionally designed? Because
if the current evolution model holds, then it would be like a flagellum had to develop into a functioning flagellum. But there are structures like the flagellum, like the eye, where if you take out any sort of the functionality, it is completely non-functional. So it's not like something that could grow and develop into it randomly. It's something that had to have been made for this purpose.
So then I guess my question would be, it says, and this designer must be God.
Mm-hmm.
How can it must be God? Like, how do we get to that?
I don't know. I just present the questions. I can't defend.
Okay,
this.
Well that's my question.
That's fantastic. That's
okay.
Okay. No, that's fine. There's no right or wrong answers here. Just what you do.
And yeah, what Casa said. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and turn on notifications. Casa, you are awesome. Thank you.
Oh, please, a notification for this channel. You'll be hearing them every day.
Oh yeah, maybe you should turn on notifications. Wait until the quarantine's over, then turn on notifications, because at that point we'll be, 3 shows a week.
I believe you have 3 shows just tomorrow. So
no comment.
Don't you? Okay, let's recap this really quickly. You have tomorrow morning on the Daily Atheist morning show.
Yes,
right?
That's true.
And then what do you have tomorrow night?
Password. So not atheist stuff.
Okay,
I have an entertainment channel too, and I have these 8 comedians coming on to play the game Password.
Well, 7 comedians and Ethan. Okay, go back to screen share. You took my screen share off.
I'm sorry.
We're going to go back to the next one. I'm going to skip the next one really quick because I want to give SJ an opportunity if she wants to present that one. I present to you the Leibniz cosmological argument. I know.
Where do you get this stuff, man?
I didn't come up with this. This is can someone in chat verify for me that this is an apologetic that has been used in the past?
Any contingent fact about the world must have an explanation. It is a contingent fact that there are contingent things. The fact that there are contingent things must have an explanation. The fact that there are contingent things can't be explained by any other contingent things. The fact that there are contingent things must be explained by something whose existence is not contingent. There is an okay, so I guess I am not knowledgeable enough to break this down, but what stands out at me is there is a necessary being. Why is there a necessary being?
Okay, again, I can't accurately defend this because it's not a position that I've exactly held. That's probably where I would push back on also. Verified. See, okay, so yeah, this is definitely something that gets used here also. So
Larry could probably break this down for me better, but I guess the only one issue I can find, which I'm sure I could be missing something, is there is a necessary being. One, I guess I would say, hey, can you define being, and why is it necessary? So those would be my questions.
Yeah. And I like the best explanation that I've gotten for this is that the infinite regress has to stop somewhere. If A is caused by B and B is caused by C and C is caused by D, if we don't have a place where this ends, then we're reduced to absurdity. Does that make sense? If it's temporal cause, we keep on going back. It seems like you can make an endless chain of this going all the way back to I don't know what.
True.
And so one answer, especially one that's given by the Leibniz cosmological argument and other cosmological arguments, is the buck stop. Like SJ said, the buck stops at God. God is defined as that stopping point.
So then, why isn't?
That's later, Larry. I got that. Trust me, I got that coming up later.
Great, Larry. You're giving him all the good ideas.
You didn't have to give me this good idea. It's already been idea number 6.
So yeah, okay. Well, you know where my issue is with there is necessary being. I don't see an issue with the infinite regress simply because we just don't know. So I'm totally okay with that. I don't know. Okay. Does that answer your question?
If it answers your question, like this is just the common stuff that comes up. Okay. And at the very worst, think of this as like the pretest before the unit, where it gives you like this is the kind of stuff that's
going to get harder.
Oh, this is the tip of the iceberg. We haven't even gotten to the juicy
Are you
stuff.
trying to embarrass me on my own channel?
So that better you be embarrassed in practice than you be embarrassed at the game, right?
True.
This is practice. This is rehearsals. You screw up at dress rehearsal so that opening night is flawless.
That's a good point.
Okay.
Although I'll be completely honest, I don't ever foresee myself debating again because I would just rather have a friendly conversation.
Even if you don't debate, these are going to come up.
Yes, I agree, okay. And I need to better understand them. And
at the very least, even if you can't like completely dissect and take apart, at least you have that familiarity. At least and we had 2 Christians in chat verify that this is actually right. At least a variation of this is a common argument. I did not make this up. I actually literally cut and paste this off of an apologetics website. So at least I'm representing that side as accurately as I can. SJ, I still don't see your minimal facts thing, so we're gonna skip that. Please talk to me about minimal facts. Okay.
You're pressuring.
I know. This is from Inspiring Philosophy. This is the moral argument that you can actually find a video for this on Inspiring Philosophy's page. There are many different moral arguments. We actually heard one of them. This is live training for atheists. Yes.
I like that.
This is.
Okay. Atheism 101.
This is word for word what you can find on Inspiring Philosophy's YouTube page. And somebody else can go over there and verify for me. The moral argument. Morality is a rational enterprise. Premise 2, moral realism is true, meaning moral facts and duties exist. 3, the moral problems and disagreements among humans are too much for us to assume moral facts and duties are grounded in a human source of rationality. 4, moral facts and duties are grounded in a necessary rational source. And number 5, this source is what we call God.
Why do we call it God, and how do we get to that source being God?
I believe it's just putting a placeholder on it right now. It's not necessarily like this isn't arguing for the Christian God. And I've heard him talk about this before, where when he talks about the moral argument, he's arguing for a God of classical theism, not necessarily the Christian God. Thank you. I say this is actually something I've always wanted to really talk to somebody about what moral objectivity means. So maybe this can be something we talk about. That'd be fun. Okay, so so aside from like the placeholder title of God, let's just say that there is some source. Okay, what do you object to the idea that there being a source of this?
Sorry, say that one more time.
What do you say to the rest of the argument, even taking out that we call the source God? What would you say that there's like just the first four parts of the argument?
I can hear all the atheists watching cringing right now.
They are. I'm cringing on your behalf.
Because, dude, I don't know this stuff.
That's fine. It's not for everyone. Like, apologetics is not for everyone. But they're telling you right now, like they're telling you in chat, they're agreeing this is a common argument. You're going to hear this again. So I was just, hear this in rehearsal instead of.
No, I see. I definitely need to learn to address these better, but I think I need to learn to also understand them better before I can even address them.
Mm-hmm.
So after this, you're going to need to break down what number 1 means. Then you're going to need to break down what number 2 means.
Sure.
And then, we can go from there.
Okay, let's move on to number 5. The modal ontological argument. Again, this is a common one. No, I'm serious. These are commonly used arguments.
Pin drop in my room right now every time you ask another question.
Okay, and that's fine. That's fine. Like I said, maybe you haven't heard it in premise form like this before, but these are actually common arguments for God. So here we go. It's possible that a maximally great being exists. Number 2, a maximally great being exists in some possible world. Number 3, if a maximally great being exists in some possible world, then it exists in every possible world. No, I agree with you. Everybody's going to say, you agree with that, SJ. This is not on the top of a lot of people's list. I agree. But this is in there. If a maximally great being exists in every possible world, then it exists in the actual world. Number 5, a maximally great being exists in the actual world. 6, therefore, a maximally great being exists.
So, okay, it's possible that maximally great being exists. I mean, if I'm just in a conversation, sure, it's absolutely possible. I'm open to that. A maximally great being exists in some possible world. Well, that's where we need to demonstrate that, because that's just making an assertion.
So welcome to modal logic, okay, where we use terms like some possible world. Basically, it's saying in a hypothetical situation, this in itself is not a logical contradiction. And that's what they mean by some possible world. Okay, so this is you're right. Larry, Logic 101, and part of that is modal logic, I think. So this is, and SJ's right too, that the Platinga's version, you know what? I apologize that I did not research the Platinga's version. This is the Anselm version, and it's also the one that you can find on a Rational Faith video. So that's why I went with this one. There are probably better. Laugh if you want to, but this is a common rebuttal for it.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at alias fake names.
And that's what you should be laughing at, because by using the modal ontological argument, you could substitute being with pizza, and it seems like we have just defined a pizza into existence that is maximally great, which to me means all the pineapples.
I could go for a maximally great pizza, and you know what? I can do this. I will debate anybody. I'm from Chicago. I will debate anybody on pizza and hot dogs. You do not put ketchup on a hot dog. And I bet SJ knows what I'm talking about, because she's from the Chicagoland area too.
I'm from Cincinnati. We just slather chili on everything. Okay. But yeah, okay. So this is the modal ontology. Good job pushing back on that. And thank you.
Put ketchup on a hot dog, yes or no?
All the time.
Now you're going to get the angry atheist. You do not put ketchup on a hot dog, ever.
Oh, I put ketchup on ketchup. That totally doesn't count.
Oh, Puck. All right, move on. I found my problem with this argument, and I found our first major disagreement.
SJ, I wish that you had the opportunity to present one. So I'm going to scroll back up here and go to the Minimal Facts Habermas abridged version. Again, I pulled this from a website. It may not be in its best form. And if you want the best form of this, talk to SJ. But
Daily Atheist is here, and I'll be on his show tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Central Time. Pretty excited. But yeah, John Anthony, if you put ketchup on a hot dog, you and me have a problem, my friend. Does not go ever. But I'll let you get back to the and real quick, one last thing. Best name ever. You're right. Pineapple does not go on pizza.
Pineapple belongs on everything. My recipe for awesome sauce, which is the best sauce ever to put on anything, includes a large amount of pineapple sauce.
Oh, Joel Sedicase is here. He's the one we were talking about earlier, where
Welcome,
I learned. Joel Sedicase from the Think Institute. I learned quickly how outmatched I was. Yeah. I love that he actually addressed the maximally great pizza. I really do love that.
If anything, we have to address the maximally great pizza.
Yes.
If anything, we must address that. Okay, you're absolutely right, SJ, and I wish that I had that list. I could probably find it, but I don't want to waste anybody's time on the channel. First of all, the actual death of Jesus on the cross. SJ, please help. The witness of Jesus's brother James. Okay. Ethan, there are minimum facts within the Gospels that even critics agree most likely happened. The best explanation to account for all the minimum facts is the true resurrection of Jesus. Therefore, it is reasonable to believe that the resurrection of Jesus actually happened. This is rough. I get it. SJ, if you have a better one, please throw it in there.
So why don't?
But this is my homage to you, SJ. Okay, that I actually did listen to, and here we go. Thank you, SJ. There you go. Death and true death on the cross. That's fine.
I don't know how to. I don't even know how to address this. I'm sorry. I would have to learn significantly more to to address this one.
And that's fine. But again, this is NSJ is verifying this because she's actually listing this out for us right now, right?
Yes, thank you,
this is
SJ, I appreciate it very much.
This is a common argument. I don't want you to think that I'm pulling this out of nowhere and giving you a whole bunch of really obscure esoteric definitions for God. These are actually common. They're out there. So they worship for decades despite intense persecution. Okay. So these are the minimal facts. These are facts that even ardent critics of Christian history will agree with. And they'll say, the best explanation for all of these being true is that the resurrection was true. Yeah. See, that's basically the question. It's like, what is the best explanation for all these facts being true? And that's the minimal facts argument. Okay.
Okay, so move on to the next one.
Last one. And this is actually the last one. This is the last one. And then let's round up in chat. If you have any questions for Ethan about what he's learned in his 2 months of atheist activism, let us have it in chat. Tag your friendly neighborhood atheist so we're more likely to see it better. But SJ, hopefully, please, you see this as a sign that I do pay attention to your work. I can't regurgitate it. I can't repeat it, but at least I listened.
John Anthony, by the way, I'm looking for a Scientologist to talk to me. So
yeah, I want to learn more about Thetans. Okay, yoink, all the way down to the very bottom. The slick amended transcendental argument for God. This is directly taken off of a writing by Matt Slick. So if you would, Ethan, go ahead and start reading from the top. Joel, Larry, this one's for you.
Logical absolutes exist. Logical absolutes are conceptual by nature, are not dependent on space, time, physical properties, or human nature. They are not the product of the physical universe, space, time, matter, because if the physical universe were to disappear, logical absolutes would still be true. I feel like I'm in school right now, man. Logical absolutes are not the product of human minds because human minds are different. Okay, I'm just going to stop right there. I can't.
Okay. And that's fine. But again, we're getting some verification in chat. This actually is a common argument. Max Slick is one of the biggest defenders of the transcendental argument for God, or at least one of the most well-known defenders. But other people will defend this view also. I believe Larry and Joel will be two of them. And this is basically saying that our universe seems to operate in a logical, orderly way. And it is very difficult to assume that it just does that. There is something behind the scenes that is making sure that the universe continues to operate in a logical, consistent, uniform way. And if there's only two options, if there is God and no God, and we can show that it is impossible for no God to exist, then by logical rationale, the opposite must be true. This is what's called the proving by the impossibility of the contrary.
Okay, so I do have an issue with the impossibility of the contrary, because how can you? I mean, how can you? Have you tested other things? Like, have you? How do you even demonstrate it's impossible? I mean, have you? There's nothing else to test with. I am so bad at articulating. Puck, do you know what I'm trying to say? Please say you do.
I have no idea where you're going with this.
All right.
But no, but it's okay. It's okay. But that's fine. Like I said, this is just like a precursor of things to come. Like, these are the things that we can learn about and touch on. See, Larry agrees. This is would I touch on this?
In our first debate, he got me with the kalam, because I didn't know how to address it at that point.
Okay. Do you remember what the kalam cosmological argument is?
Do you think I remember what the kalam?
Possibly.
Dude, I'm not you. I don't retain information as well as you do.
I don't retain information. Do you think if it wasn't for Facebook reminding me that I would remember that tomorrow is my wife's anniversary? No.
Okay. I would forget that stuff too, but you remember this stuff. You can watch a video of SJ's, and then you can break it down. You can talk to me about it. I can't do that. I have to sit there going like word by word, looking everything up to make sure I understand it. It takes me way longer. To me, you're like Tony Stark. You'll be like, yeah, I learned all this last night. And I'm like, how? How did you do this?
Oh, I was compared to Tony Stark. Who's Tony Stark?
You better be joking.
I don't watch movies. I'm just kidding. I know Tony Stark is, and I appreciate that. Roughly, the Kalam cosmological argument is, and depending on who you talk to, there's different versions of this, but everything that begins to exist has a cause for its existence. The universe began to exist, therefore, the universe has a cause for its existence. The William Lane Craig version adds two more premises to this. This cause must be outside of space and time and immaterial and omnipowerful, therefore, God. It's my anniversary with it. Look, see, happily married, and it is in fact an hour and a half. So yeah, I should probably like get a card or something at some point. But no, so this is a good place, and we will revisit this again. I'm sure many times in the future, and we will have future episodes. We will have future episodes of What the Puck, featuring you, where we talk about like where have you come in the past, however long.
Speaking of which, I want to give Larry the Christian. I don't know why it's so hard to not call him Larry the Christian. Like, that's just how I know him now. So what I really want to do with Larry is do like a once a month show where we have people can call in and they'll get the Christian perspective and the atheist perspective. That would be cool. And then me and Larry can do our thing and argue, and I can prove him wrong.
Oh, Craig, you missed the show. Hi, Craig. Welcome.
Yeah, welcome, Craig.
You're gonna want to watch back on this one, Craig. I appreciate that you came in here, but there was a lot of fun content earlier.
You'll quickly learn how lacking in knowledge I am.
We all start somewhere, okay? Like
this is my starting place, and that's
time 2 years ago. I hadn't heard of any of this stuff, so
that's the difference between you and I, Puck. I am not scared to go on camera and look like an idiot. Like, to me, every time I go on camera is a learning opportunity. Like, so put me in any room with anybody. That's how I'm gonna learn. Like, and to me, just looking back at my debates with Joel, you'll see while he was better than me at it, the second time he was not able to do to me what he did the first time. So
you get better. You learn as you like to learn as you go. I like to go in there like only after.
Oh, would you really call screen? Because that would be awesome.
Guys,
Don't encourage me.
I know this look on Ethan's face. Whenever Ethan gets this look on his face, we book 5 more shows.
Because this is so much fun. Like, come on. You get to learn all day. You get to talk to people. You get to engage with people in the comments. I have met so many amazing Christians, Catholics. I have met so many awesome people from doing this. And to me, every time I get on camera, it's another chance to learn. So
Craig and I have been communicating through other channels for quite some time now. Craig, you know, I've told you this before. I've been following your work for the greater part of a year. But yeah, I guess this is your first time actually seeing what I look like. I'm sorry if I'm a disappointment, especially to a big Elvis fan. The side shave is a little wonky today. I did not get the line as crisp as I would like that to be.
Can we get some love for Puck in the comments? Because this man is driving me nuts. He's so hard on himself. He's too hard on himself. He's like, actually, nobody likes me. I don't think anybody likes me on your channel. And I'm like, no, you are great, Puck. No. You are really good.
Here's the thing, okay? I'm not saying that conversations like mine have no value. They do have a value. It's just that I'm going to say publicly what I've been saying to you privately, and then we'll put a cap on the show, okay? Your channel is like Saturday morning cartoons. It's vibrant, it's entertaining, you're charismatic. You're like that one guy who's always dancing with Blue's Clues, whatever his name is. That's you.
Blue's Clues?
Yeah, whoever that guy, what's his name on Blue's Clues? The guy who's
I don't remember his name, but I know who you're talking about.
Okay, this is you. Your show is Saturday morning cartoons. Okay, occasionally you throw a little bit of what do you call it? Educational content in there. But you know what I am? I am that one. We interrupt your currently scheduled programming for the following news bulletin. Okay, I am the public service announcement on your channel. Hello, David.
Do you know what? Wow. You add tremendous credibility because you are very knowledgeable. You offer a great perspective, and you help like focus me and sometimes remind me of the mistakes I'm making, even though we don't always agree. Like I am still going to have my ADHD atheism. Like Puck doesn't like the idea that I'll be karaokeing. All right, sorry.
Whatever. You know what? Earlier today, I gave you the program to do this with.
That is true.
So no, I do. Oh, hello, IQ. Hey, we're about to wrap up here. You want to meet for Skyline after this?
I don't know what Skyline is.
I know that's a Cincinnati thing because all you Chicago people are monopolizing chat right now and making the rest of us feel like third wheels.
Oh well, Chicago is the best. All right, so
your hockey team is reaching the end of its dynasty. Okay. Jonathan Toews is just aging, and you have nobody to replace Duncan Keith.
So the last time I watched hockey and enjoyed it was 1991-92, and I have the entire Upper Deck series of the 92-93 season. I also have Chris Chelios' signed rookie card, Ed Belfour's signed rookie card, Jeremy Roenick's signed rookie card. So a few of my favorites.
This is what I like to ask people when they say they're a Chicago Blackhawks fan. Who was the goalie when you were a Chicago Blackhawks fan?
Ed Belfour. And
okay,
Jimmy
that's a good answer. That's a great answer. That's beautiful. I appreciate that. Yes, SA Skyline, and I use the word chili very roughly. If anybody in Texas is listening, please don't hassle us Cincinnati people.
If you're ever in Chicago, definitely hit me up. But we should go to Super Dog, where you can't get you can get ketchup there. Or Gene and Jude's, where they literally don't even have ketchup in the building. And if you ask for ketchup, they throw you out. I'm literally not joking.
Do they throw you out for asking for pineapples on your pizza?
Well, no, but I'm sure there are places that do that. We take our food very seriously in Chicago. Like religion, I'm good. Politics, I'm good. Food.
So this is what we should do then sometime. Okay, this is my version of here's what we should do next on the channel. We should have a mukbang stream. Chicago versus Cincinnati. You bring in your Cincinnati food, or you bring in your Chicago food, I bring in some Cincinnati chili, and we will break bread together, as the Christians would say.
Yeah, true on the Chicago stuff. Thank you. And Puck, I look forward to the day I get to meet you. Seriously, like when this quarantine's over, I am just going to come to your house and give you the biggest hug. ever.
What's the safe word?
No safe words, man. You're just getting hugged. Like, I'm just coming up and be like, yes, that's my puck.
Okay, cringe. Anyway, What the Puck is going to be taking a break next week, but we'll be back on the 27th with a very special guest, Gene and Jude's.
Gene and Jude's.
I can't agree or disagree. I've never had that. So
you will agree.
I'm like trying to desperately avoid Chicago at all costs because I don't really care for the hockey team. But I know I will have to go there at some time to watch the Rockford Ice Hogs play in their arena and to see if the Rockford Shrub truly exists. But thank you guys so much for joining us. If you have any last minute questions for me or Ethan, we'll put a cap on the show. This has been like the most involved chat I've ever seen. And I don't know if you noticed it in there, but we actually connected Christians together who have never talked to each other.
I know, and that's awesome. See, and that's the point, man. Is this should be a neighborhood for everybody, where everybody can come and talk and not just point fingers and say you're wrong. Like, let's just have a friendly conversation.
I want to go into chat. It's like SJ, Joel, SJ.
Exactly. Like, dude, we get to connect people. We get to work together. Like, that's awesome. But also, don't forget to like and subscribe. And Puck, it's my understanding. Yeah, there we go. Yes. Puck, you have something for me. And I have been dying because you would think he would have given this to me first, but he did not. So I want to see it.
Okay, well, as all guests on What the Puck do, I have a special gift for them. I went ahead and shared the screen. If you could go ahead and pop that up on there. All guests who show up on What the Puck will actually have a custom puck made for them. And Ethan, I would like to present to you then your puck.
Dude, I love that. And you got the little Jerry curl that always sticks out. That is so awesome.
Yes, so you are now permanently commemorated in puck form. I will send you the PNG and PDF files for this so you can use it anywhere you want to, and any future appearances that you would have on What the Puck, it will be your logo with mine next to it. So
I love that. I love that very much. So thank you.
You guys are wonderful. This has been the most engaging chat ever. David Worley, I'm such a fan of your work. Thank you very much for being here. I don't know if you know that. Do you know who David Worley is?
I do, because you messaged me the other day and you said you should message him on Twitter. So
okay, I'm gonna.
If you ever want to have a friendly conversation with the most friendly atheist, I would love to talk with you.
The most friendly atheist and Puck.
David,
sorry. I'm such a fan of your work. I started watching DRP from the beginning, episode 1. Okay, and I started watching your content. I'm not very far. I'm only on like Richard Carrier, but I started listening from the very beginning after I started seeing what you did. I'm a huge fan of your work. So,
I love that. That's pucking great.
That's why I go by Puck. I appreciate people who have these really long, elaborate names, rationality rules. That's awesome. Neil the 604 Atheist. How can he be anything other than Canadian, right? But no, I want to just be known by one syllable. Puck.
I do like that. And SJ, that would be awesome. I'm totally down. And I'll drag Puck along with me. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll bring pizza.
Great.
Just
all right.
Kidding.
Puck,
you guys have been wonderful. Thank you all so much. We will be back once again in 2 weeks. Well, let's see. Ethan, you have something going on tomorrow morning with Dave.
Yes.
Chris.
I will be on DAM show tomorrow at 8 a.m. Central Time. And that is super awesome because now I'm his I'm his co-host every Thursday morning at 8 a.m. How awesome is that? And that special shout out to Kristen, because Kristen was the one who got us in contact.
And Ethan likes to end this with a high five, so I'm going to give a high five to Ethan.
Yes, I do.
Thank you very much.
And all conversations going forward to always end with a friendly high five or a handshake. Wait, can we do that? Try that. Let's see. There we go.
You people are so weird. Anyway, thank you guys all very much, and we will see you in 2 weeks on What the Puck.
Good night.